This is the next video of this section, using Java classes in Android apps with Java2OP. In the previous video, we've learned how to use the Android text-to-speech engine. In this video, we will talk about the Java2OP command line utility. Java2OP.exe, Java to Object Pascal, is a command line tool that you can use to generate Delphi native bridge files from Java libraries, jar, or class files. Once having generated the Object Pascal files describing the Java-needed classes, you can use them to provide your Delphi applications access to those Java libraries on Android. Java2OP.exe is included in the most recent Delphi versions and is available at this path. This video is an upgraded version of the Using Android SDK Java Classes video. Indeed, while in the first video we created the Object Pascal files by hand reading the Android documentation, here we'll use the Java2OP.exe utility to automatically generate them. This is the process that you will use 90% of the time if you have a modern version of Delphi. However, the first video is still relevant to correctly understand the process and eventually changes something in the generated files if needed. We start with a copy of the video Using Android SDK Java Classes. Our objective is to recreate the same app using a generated interface file instead of the file created manually. Copy the project with all the files and put it into another folder. Open it in the Rad Studio IDE and remove the file androidsdk.toast.pas from the project. Also, remove all reference to the file in the other units. Change the project name from Toast Demo to Toast Demo with Java2OP. Now, open the command prompt and go to this folder where Java2OP is located. Java2OP can generate Object Pascal interface files from compiled Java classes and from jar files. However, consider that the output files do not include members that are part of the built-in Rad Studio Java libraries for Android, unless you explicitly specify those members using the classes parameter. Moreover, if any of the classes that you specified depend on members from the built-in Rad Studio Java libraries for Android, the resulting native bridge file does not redeclare those members, but it includes the Rad Studio units that already declare those members. Being in the Java2OP folder, run this command line. Now, you should see a file called androidsdk.java2op.toast.pas containing the generated Object Pascal interfaces. We ask the Java2OP to generate the interface file for the class android.widget.toast and to generate it in a unit called androidsdk.java2op.toasp.pas. Copy this file into the project folder and add it to the project. You can also change the path environment variable to be able to call the Java2op.exe directly inside the project folder. Go to the main form and add this new file in the Uses clause. Try to recompile. You should see some compiler errors. In the original project, we created some utility function to simplify the utilization of the imported class. Now we've got to do the same, but we should not change the generated file. Instead, we'll create another unit that uses the generated one and declares the utility functions. Let's create the new unit and name it Android SDK.toast.utils.pass. As you can see, we are using simple conventions for unit names. If the unit has been generated by the Java2OP, the name respects this format. While the relative unit that contains the handwritten code is relative to the class utilization, respect this format. However, any convention is good as far as it makes simple to understand whether the file has been generated by Java2OP or handwritten. In the new file, we have to declare some types and functions to make the raw Java interfaces more usable and more Delphi-like. The course is functionally the same as the first handwritten version. Here are the file contents. Now, if you try to recompile, you should get some compiler errors because tjtoast.length_short is no more defined. This is because the Java2OP generated file has the identifier defined as tjtoast.toast. Java class.length_short. Change it, as now the project should compile and run as with the previous one, but using an auto-generated class interface from the Java Android classes. So let's run the application. As you can see, we got the same result of our application. Java2OP is quite powerful. It can generate interfaces from classes, jar files, or plain Java source files. At the command prompt, type Java2OP without parameters to get a list of the available switches. Also, you can check the official documentation to properly understand the possibilities from this link. Just as a side note, in some Delphi installations, Java2OP doesn't generate the correct interfaces. If you have experienced this behavior, try to download this version directly from Code Central from this website. Awesome! We've successfully learned how to use Java classes in Android apps with Java2OP. In this section, we've learned how to use Android SDK Java classes and iOS Objective-C SDK classes. After that, we've learned how to display PDF files in your app. Also, we've learned how to send Android intents, and we've learned how to use Android text-to-speech engine and Java. Finally, we dealt with Android services.